The atomic bomb has been the single most dangerous weapon used on the face of Earth. The world has never been so safer and dangerous at the same time since we had these bombs. This is the story of Robert Oppenheimer, how the father of atomic bomb from being the national hero became state enemy number one. Julius Oppenheimer is a first-generation Jewish immigrant who has a thriving textile business. Ella is an accomplished painter with a private studio in upscale New York. This couple had their first baby boy in 1903. They named him Robert Oppenheimer. Ella has another son 4 years later, but because of a complication, he couldn't survive the pregnancy. This makes her protective of Oppie. Fearing germs, she does not allow him to mix with other children. Oppie has everything he wants, but he spends his entire childhood in comfortable loneliness in his mother's nest. So as a kid, Oppie is not interested in playing with other kids of his age. He spends most of his time alone. This makes him awkward and a target of tease and ridicule of other kids for not being like them. Despite the challenges, his school's atmosphere is protective for brilliant but sensitive Oppie. He thrives there, but this safety net is about to drop as he prepares to go to Harvard. There's also this feeling of conflict in Oppie about his identity as a German-American Jew, which never leaves him throughout his life. Once in Harvard, Oppie finds it difficult to integrate in his new surroundings, and the first mistake he makes is choosing chemistry as his major, thinking he likes it. Not knowing how to navigate his social life, he completely avoids it by studying all the time. While hard work earns him the highest distinction, he is not happy at all. He hated studying chemistry and realizes he wanted to study physics. To right this wrong, his next stop is Cambridge University to study experimental physics. But he has no clue he will have bigger problems at this place. To Oppie's shock, he does not enjoy the lectures at all. But this is not what breaks his confidence. What does is that he finds himself to be extremely clumsy in lab experiments. This is new to him. Despite not liking chemistry, he had excellent grades at Harvard. He does not like to be average, but here he is worse than average. Not being able to cope, he suffers from bouts of depression. To make matters worse, his relationship with his head tutor fills him with crippling anxiety. So much so that he tries to poison and kill him. This is a criminal offense, an act that is about to end the career of this awkward genius even before it began. But due to his father's influence, the college does not press criminal charges on one condition: Oppie will have to see a psychiatrist. This is a phase of painful emotional crisis for the young lad, wasting a year doing experimental physics and nothing to show for it. He feels like a fish out of water with nothing to hold on to. Sessions with the psychiatrist do help. Oppie gets a new lease of life. Now a mentor tells him to look into the evolving theory of quantum mechanics if it appeals to him. Oppie reads some papers and is instantly hooked. It's time to go to Germany. Germany has the best physicists in the world. They are winning Nobel Prizes like candy. Oppie feels right at home among them. His personality blooms, making him confident, excited, and focused. In the process, he produces some original and remarkable papers of his own, standing shoulder to shoulder with the giants around him. He gets his PhD in record time. Oppie becomes Oppenheimer. For the next decade, Oppenheimer teaches at the University of California. This is also the time when America is undergoing through great economic depression. Communism is in vogue. While Oppenheimer is not part of the communist movement, he is sympathetic to their cause. But he's friends with a lot of people who are part of the Communist Party, including his younger brother. This was going to come back to bite him later in life. While life was good, he was too ambitious to settle for just a good life. Being nominated for Nobel Prize a few times but never winning keeps him on edge. It's around this time a surprising research paper published in Nature sends ripples across the entire world. Physicists in Germany successfully separate the atom by fission reaction. Oppenheimer can't believe this groundbreaking discovery. It has the potential to produce tremendous amount of energy to power up entire industries, generate electricity, and do million other things. It doesn't take him long to realize that this can also help create a super bomb, nothing the world has ever seen before. The same is obvious to a wider scientific community and the American government. World War II has already begun, and this news coming from Nazi-ruled Germany was a cause of concern for everybody. If Hitler succeeds in making this bomb, it might mean the end of Western civilization. Developing an atomic bomb before anybody else becomes the priority number one for America. But they have a problem in hand. None of the scientists seem to understand the importance and urgency of this mission. In fact, if anything, they think it'll take a long time to make it possible, except Oppenheimer, who has been itching to make his mark. This is his moment. He's an unlikely candidate and a lot lower in the priority list of scientists to lead this project. But he's smart enough to make all the right moves when US Army came knocking on his door. He not only shows confidence in being able to make this bomb on war scale, but shares Army's concern to keep this mission a top secret. In fact, he suggests a perfect place to do so. This makes him the most important person in America. He immediately jumps to the top of the pecking order. The person who couldn't manage a hot dog stand now gets to lead the most complex project the world has ever seen. It's a race against time to develop this bomb before Germany does. What starts as a 30-man project soon has more than 3,000 people working on it with billions poured in. The work to mine and manufacture nuclear material happens on an industrial scale. Countless approaches seem promising but don't work in the end. But after a mind-numbing work of 27 months, he did what many thought was impossible. He successfully develops the first nuclear bomb of the world. Oppenheimer gives America a weapon to be an unrivaled superpower of the world. He becomes a national hero and far more popular than winning any Nobel Prizes would have made him. But by now, Hitler is already dead and Germany has surrendered. Japan is fighting a losing battle and will be surrendering any day now. Surely a controlled bomb demonstration is enough to put them in their place. The science community, realizing the destructive capacity of their creation, begins the petition of not using it against anyone. Oppenheimer is in the panel to advise the use of nuclear bomb. He assures his colleagues that he will not advise its use. But then something strange happened. Oppenheimer wanted the bomb to be used against Japan. In fact, he argued brilliantly for the same. Army, getting the blessings of the father of atomic bomb, pressed for its use. They had their own statement to make to the world about their military superiority. The decision was made. Cities were carefully chosen to cause the greatest damage. There was no warning given to the Japanese to evacuate its civilians. A B-29 bomber drops 2 atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki within a span of 3 days. More than 100,000 people are instantly vaporized. Tens of thousands die a slow and painful death because of radiation exposure. This becomes the worst tragedy of the modern history. Maybe Oppenheimer anticipated using the bomb will stop all future wars. But if anything, it instigated all the major nations of the world to have a nuclear weapon of their own. It started a deadly arms race that continues to this day. Oppenheimer realized that something irreversible has happened. He has given humanity a tremendous new form of power to destroy itself. This weighed heavy on his conscience. He decides to dedicate himself to try to control this irreversible turn. But the genie was out of the bottle already, and Oppenheimer was about to be sidelined and destroyed with the system he had weaponized. He opposed any new research in developing bigger bombs, saying it will be years before any other nation could develop any atomic bombs. He was wrong. Russia created its own atomic bomb soon enough. It quickly ended the American monopoly of world-destroying bombs. Stalling bomb research efforts of Oppenheimer makes America play catch-up with Russia. Russia was in full swing to make bigger, better bombs to stay ahead of America. Losing this advantage was unacceptable to Washington. Oppenheimer had a target on his back now. The new Republican administration of President Eisenhower had declared him a security risk. His past and connections to the communist people, which was not an issue till now, was dug up. His phones were tapped. He was stripped of his security clearance. He was put on a humiliating trial. It was a period of tremendous agony for him, and he suffered silently. The national hero became state enemy number one. Even a man as brilliant as Oppenheimer was no match for the system which he had weaponized.